In our next section, we are going to talk about OSPF version 3 IPv6 configuration. We have a practical lab for this and we have 4 steps to accomplish. In the first step, we need to configure router interfaces with the IPv6 addresses. In the second, we need to configure single area OSPFv3. Then we need to check the OSPF adjacency and the routing table as well. Alright, we have router 1, 2 and 3. The first step is saying us to do configuring these IP version 6 addresses on the related interfaces. Alright, let's go. I'm opening my packet tracer and I'm starting with router 1. To configure the interface, what I need to do is I will go to the interface level and I'm going to try to configure it. Okay, now I'm in enable mode now. I'm in config T, but please keep in mind that when you're gonna make IP version 6 configuration, IP version 6 routing configuration, the first thing you should also do is enabling the IP version 6 on the related router by typing IPv6 unicast routing command. Alright, I'm doing this for each router first. IPv6 unicast routing and IPv6 unicast routing. Alright, I'm going back to the router 1 again. So it's time to configure the IP addresses right now. I'm going to the gig 00 of the router 1, interface gig 00, and my IP address will be, let's take a look what's gonna be. Oops. It's a little hard to memorize this, but we are gonna give it a try. 2001 DB8 cafe and CBED1 for that. Okay, alright. I'm in router 1 and I'm configuring IPv6 address with IPv6 command. IPv6 address 2001 DB8 cafe 1 column 1 / 64, and that's it. Cool. And I'm going to the gig 01 and my IP version 6 address is DB8 CBED, I think. CBED 1 column 1 again. Okay, let's go to the router 2. It's gonna be .2 and .1 for the other side. This is ABCD and this is gonna be cafe. I'm in router 2 and interface gig 00 IP version 6 address 2001 DB8 cafe 1 column 2 this time it was /64, and gig 01 will be ABCD 1 column 1, I think. DB8 ABCD1 column 1. Yes, that should be like this. Let's check it again. DB8 ABCD 1 column 1. Okay, time to look to the router 3. CBED 1 column 2 and ABCD 1 column 2. Okay. I'm going to the interface gig 00 first and IPv6 address 2001 DB8 ABCD 1 column 2 /64. And guys, I forgot the no shots that I need to do for each interface, and I'm doing it right now. I'm starting with here, and I need to go to gig 01, and my IP address will be this time CBED 1 column 2 and no shot. Okay, let's do the no shots on the here and for this router too. No shot. And voila, everywhere is green right now. And I finished the first step. Pretty cool. Now it's time to configure the OSPF version 3, I think. To configure OSPF version 3 on 3 routers, the first thing I need to do is defining the router ID. Then I'm gonna attach the interface to the OSPF process. Okay, I'm in the router 1 now first. For router 1, what I need to do is IP version 6, router, OSPF, and my process ID will be 10 for this time. OSPFv3 process 10 could not pick a router ID. Please configure manually. Okay, I got this warning because, as you will remember from our sessions, what I told you that what I'm defining with the under router OSPF process on IPv6 is just the router ID. We just defined the router ID in here and we are doing nothing else already. Okay, router ID 1111. Let's define the router IDs first on each routers. IPv6 router OSPF 10, and my router ID is this, and IPv6 router OSPF 10, and my router ID is this one, 33333 for router 3. And okay, I defined the router IDs first for each router. What I'm gonna do is now I will go to for my interfaces and I will define IP version 6 for that interfaces. That's the difference between IPv4 configuration and IPv6. In IPv4 you are doing everything in the router OSPF mode, but in IPv6 you are just assigning your router ID in router OSPF ID process, and the rest thing is being done under the interface mode. Alright, I'm going to the int gig 00 first, and IPv6 OSPF 10 area 0 is my command. My command is IPv6 OSPF, my process ID that I defined, and the area that I want to define. And I'm doing the same thing for my other interface too. Okay, let's go to router 2, interface gig01 and IPv6 OSPF10 area 0, and same thing will be made for this one. Good. And let's go to the router 3. gig00 IP version 6 OSPF10 area 0, and gig01 will be the same. Alright, I finished my configuration. Configure single area OSPF version 3 between routers. Woo, I did it, but I don't know if I correctly did it or not. But I'm gonna check. Okay. In the third step, it's saying me that check the OSPF adjacency. I have a command for this, and check the routing table, and I have also a command for this one. First, I'm gonna check the adjacency for router 3. Show IP version 6 OSPF neighbor is my command. For router 3, I need to see two neighbors, and they should be router 1 and router 2. And yes, as you can see that I have two neighbors, and they are router 1 and router 2. And the second step is show IPv6 route command, and yes, also I have OSPF routes on my routing table, which is O, and I'm learning some prefixes from the OSPF routers.